Good morning, everyone. It's our Thanksgiving special today. We're going to be making a few side dishes. I'm actually going to start off. This is what we're going to make stuffing. I've made two types of stuffing. I did one with turkey sausage, spicy turkey sausage earlier on today, but I'll show you that after. But I'm going to do a vegetarian one at present. So I have a little tiny bit of oil warming up. We have some onions. We have our mushrooms. We have celery, and as you can see, I toasted off some pecan nuts earlier that I'm going to add at the end, just so before it just goes in the oven. All right, so I'm going to get my onions going, okay, with the celery. So lots of color in here. Get that going a little bit, turn it up. That gets nice and high. Now add our mushrooms. And I actually use cornbread stuffing. I separate it in two bowls, just so when I mix it with the vegetable stock, it gives me like lots of room to mix the veggies right in, so it gets all covered. Okay, so I've got two bowls here. I didn't have a big one, so I used two. I don't want it all stacked on top of each other. Right, that's actually going to take a couple of minutes to cook. So I'm going to leave that cooking, and I'm going to show you some of the sides that I make, and I'll explain how I did them. This is the stuffing when it's complete. Okay, this one, like I said, is actually with the spicy turkey sausage. Instead of using pork sausage, a little healthier option. I also made some homemade cranberry sauce. This was so easy to make. I just brought the berries, I boiled them, put a little bit of brown sugar and honey, and it is perfect. All right, Brussels sprouts. This was great. I did for these, I steamed them, I cut them, washed them, took the shaggy leaves off, and then I added some honey and a little bit of thyme, salt, pepper, and olive oil, tossed them, stuck them in the oven. Delicious. They'll be ready when they're like golden brown. They're really, really tasty. Okay, cauliflower mash. Fantastic. I mixed mashed potato and cauliflower. You could just do the whole cauliflower. You could, you know, it tastes so good. It gives it so much flavor. I really, really recommend this. It's like, it was really good. I've tasted it a couple of times this morning, couldn't stop eating it. So that's a good alternative. Instead of all mash, you're getting some cauliflower in there. Then instead of mac and cheese, I had an extra cauliflower. So I wanted to show you how to make a cauliflower cheese. And my cauliflower cheese is with, you just make a cheese sauce like you do with the mac and cheese, and then pour it over, put it in the oven. So this is the cauliflower cheese. Now, in addition with this, going back to the mashed potato, if there's leftovers of this, a couple of weeks ago, I made bubble and squeak. The recipe was put online. You can definitely make some, you could definitely make bubble and squeak with that. You can just add an onion and keep it going. So it's really delicious. Let me take my plate down. My grandbaby made me this plate for my cooking class. So I just wanted, he brought it home to me. The water of the week, fruits are getting really expensive. I noticed in the supermarket yesterday, like strawberries are like $5.99. So I do have frozen fruit. It's a good choice for ice cubes. It's, you know, instead of using like lots of ice cubes, you could just put frozen fruit in there. It keeps it nice and cool. This week I have raspberries, blueberries, and pineapple. It tasted terrific. So that is what we have going this week. I'm going to shoot back over here, see how this is going. I might have to come back to this towards the end.
Hi, happy Thanksgiving. Well, anticipated happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone is doing well. Those dishes look amazing. I love the cauliflower mash. Oh, everything really. I can eat it right now. So we're gonna do now the turkey part. We're gonna do a couple of things first, but I'm gonna show you a lot of different things at the same time, just for the sake of time. We're gonna do a dessert as a delicious coconut apple crumble with some nuts. we're gonna start with that. We're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you. It's a different thing. I don't have a turkey with me, but I got a chicken. But it's basically gonna be the same thing if you have the turkey or the chicken. But it's a different technique that is how to. It's called spatchcock. Basically, we're gonna remove the back of the turkey or the chicken. You can do it for either. And you know how they say that you have to, for every pound of turkey, I think it's like 45 minutes of cooking. Check those instructions online, etc. But it's, you end up getting a turkey and cooking it in like 4 hours, 5 hours, depending on how big it is, right? So this method of cooking it flat and taking the back off, cuts the time by a lot. And I mean a lot, meaning like it'll be cooking under an hour. That's crazy, right? But I'll show you why. And the reason is removing this, basically the inside that doesn't make it efficient for the oven to cook it through. So it can be with a chicken or with any kind of bird, but I'll show you. It's called spatchcock. Before that, we're going to start with the crumble, and then we'll start with I'll show you how to do the chicken. So anyway, these are ingredients. Before that too, I already started here for my bird, some celery, onion, and carrots, all with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm sauteing this. Just gonna show you. This is gonna be the base, or the base where I'm gonna put the chicken on. So it's gonna be nice and hot. This is a good pan because actually this I can put directly in the oven. Don't use it with any pan. Just make sure the pan, like the handle and the pan itself, is all metal. Don't do it with like ones that have plastic. Anyway, so you can season it lightly with some salt, some pepper. You don't actually have to, and some herbs. I'll show you later. I'll turn it off for now. And then back to the dessert. So for the dessert, this is a very simple crumble. Of course, we're gonna have apples. I have a combination of like gala and apple smith. I like them. I already, core them, peel them, and then dice them like this in a bowl, like small dice. And I have so in this one, we're going to use two ways. Instead of using flour, I don't know if you remember our class when we did oat flour. This is 1 cup of oats whole. This is old fashioned. 1 cup of oats, also whole. I'm going to put this in the blender right now because I'm going to make flour. And I'm going to blend it quickly. This is my oat flour from the blender. So instead of using flour, like all refined flour, I'm using the oat flour, just lightly crumbled in the blender. You can do it in a food processor, but maybe you'll need a little bit more time. A little bit of walnuts, any nuts you want, if you want. Brown sugar. I'm gonna go use a pinch of salt. So all these ingredients we're gonna put in a bowl. Here's my bowl. I'm gonna make just a relatively small crumble in this container. I already rubbed it with some coconut oil. In this one, instead of butter, we're gonna use coconut oil. So here goes our dry ingredients. The whole oats, the oats ground to a flour. Then you can do, I have like if this is brown sugar, I'm gonna do like it doesn't need a lot. Actually, you can divide it like, this is 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna put like about 2 here. And then on the other one, I'm gonna put it in the apples. I even have a little extra. It depends on how sweet your apples are, of course. So then I'm going to just rough chop these for the apples. A little bit of cinnamon. If you have pumpkin spice, you can use that. A little bit of cinnamon, I like it. Then you can just mix it. So that's for the apples. So key, like a little thing that I like doing here is, so you're gonna put your pan where you're gonna bake it, put the fruit. So you have 2 options. You can just directly put the fruit and then you're gonna put the topping. That's nothing wrong with that. And then cover and bake it. But I like the fruit to settle as it cooks. So I'm gonna put this now. You'll put it in the oven for like, I'm not gonna put it now, but you'll put it in the oven for just like 20 minutes at 350. Let it uncover, just let it cook, and the apple will start getting nice and more flattened into it. And then you can actually put more fruit in it. So you can put plenty of fruit, or also, and then you're gonna put the topping. So 20 minutes, take it out, let it cool slightly, and then you're gonna do the topping. So for the topping, the last thing I need is any nuts will do. I like almonds, I like whatever you have in hand. Remember, now notice that we're doing kind of small portions here. It's only your household Thanksgiving, so very small portions. Try not to have big parties, of course, because the rates are definitely going up everywhere. So maybe we'll have a postponement and we can do another Thanksgiving in May, we hope. Please take care. So anyway, you just can rough chop it. You don't have to be very well chopped. And here's all my dry ingredients. The walnuts, a little pinch of salt we're gonna add. So you can just quickly mix it all. And then we're gonna put the coconut oil, 6 tablespoons for this amount. So if you see, especially for the brown sugar, it's a little bit clumpy, it's okay. So you can either use your hand or use a tablespoon. So I'm gonna get the coconut oil. This is how it's, I need to get it a little bit. Use a spoon. See how it's, instead of butter, we're gonna use coconut oil. This is Thanksgiving, so this is not necessarily healthy, but it's Thanksgiving and it's okay. So I'm gonna do a couple, like a little bit less oil.
Everything in moderation.
Right, this is 5 tablespoons. And then you can either just continue just mixing this. And then you have also like a little bit of water, like 2 tablespoons that you may want to add. You can do it with a spoon, or I sometimes like to do it with my hands. And I'm gonna add just a little bit, like a tablespoon of water to it. I'll go with my hands. And then just do it gently, not too much. You're not just to get like a nice crumble of this. It's really easy. And this one, we're skipping the flour and we're just using oats, which we tell a lot of people about how good oats are. And then, oh, the option, also you have options to put like dried fruit in there. You can put your currants, raisins, dried cherries. If you like that, you can do that. And so then we're gonna see how that crumbles. You didn't really need much water. And then we're gonna just top our crumble like that. You can press it lightly, then cover it with a little foil, like parchment paper and foil over it. I have a little extra in it. Make sure to press it well. And then you're done. And you can put it in the oven 350. That, remember that in the other case, I told you you pre-cooked a little bit the fruit, like 20 minutes. So you still will have to go about 40 minutes. Check it in 40 minutes. It usually takes about an hour, depending, but also wash your hands really well, because I have a lot of coconut in my hands. So, and then you can put it in and bake it. I'm going to show you quickly one that I did previously. It comes like that. This one I did put some raisins in it. It has no nuts, but I just changed it up. But so that you can get like, even like when the 40 minutes into it, you can take out the foil, get a little color for the topping, and that's it. You can serve it nice and warm with a little bit of scoop of ice cream for Thanksgiving. It's great. So we're done with these, the dessert. I'm doing the dessert first. When we're working with chicken or poultry, very careful because there's the risk of salmonella. So you have to have everything clean and ready to go. So here's our chicken. And this is what we're gonna do. Let me get my tray. As I told you before, this is our pan already with the vegetables that are done. Now, quick thing, this is I'm using some thyme and some rosemary. So I already chopped it in here. And what I'm gonna do is add some salt to the herbs and also add some pepper. But notice that I do it in the, before even I touch the chicken, and I'm gonna use this to season my bird really well. Instead of using dirty hands with like chicken fingers, raw chicken juices, and putting them in the salt container, or using the pepper, etc., can contaminate it, because you have to be very careful with this. Okay, same thing with and also key thing, you need to have a, if you're doing a turkey, you need to have a thermometer. Remember, 165, it has to get 165 on several parts of the chicken or the turkey. So this is what we're going to do for the spatchcocking. It's a weird name, but it is what it is. So now we're going to get move this chicken. So the chicken, I already washed it, then pat dried really well. There's nothing inside it. That, you know, those little if you have those little things inside, like the I'm gonna move it, like the neck. You can put it in your pan. That's gonna provide more of the flavor to it, to the sauce. So you see the chicken here. So we're going to so that's the breast. You know, there will be the same like for the turkey. We're gonna flip it just like that. And this is our we're going to remove all this. Basically, you see the neck here, and then you see the bone. So this is what you're going to get, a nice sharp knife with dried hands. And then we're going to start going at it. I'm going to try to move it up and just cut just off. You hear bones cracking. Of course, you have to have a nice sharp knife. Just on one side, as best you can, all the way down. And same thing is going to be on the other side. Careful, it can be slippery. That's, you can also, with your nice chef's knife, you can go cut it all the way. So that's one side. Now we're going to do the other side. I don't know if you can hear the cracking. There's also another type of bones called the a boning knife. It's also, I don't have it here with me, but it's also very good for that. So try to cut it all the way. You see it? Yeah, okay. And if you see now at the end, you can go with your knife and so you're just removing the back and the tail all the way. Of course, this you're also going to use and put it in the pan, because that's also part of that. It's going to provide flavor to it. And now this is what we have. The chicken, I'm going to turn it over. So this is how you're going to arrange it, like this. Just like that. But, oh, the other thing is, now you're going to press it a little bit. You want to make it flat. That's the key thing, because the flatness is going to allow, so if you even press it lightly like this, and you're going to do, it looks funny, right? But that's how we're going to cook it, this way, like this. So let me wash my hands quickly. And now we're going to season it with the herbs and the salt and the pepper mixture. I'm going to remember, you're not using the knife, just keep this and really wash your hands very well.
Sing happy birthday when you're washing your hands.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to season it, and we're going to use just some olive oil for it. So go like that. Nicely seasoned with olive oil, and then with our herbs. Okay, so we're going to sprinkle and be generous with the herbs and the salt mixture. Even for this extra you have, you can also sprinkle on the vegetables in the pan. You can rub the oil very well all over. And then we're gonna move it to our pan. So I'm gonna put it in here. And if you see, I'm gonna have to wash my hands again, but you're gonna just put it right there in the pan like this on top of, so see how it's, but it looks really funny, but you're gonna cut a lot of time, especially for the turkey, a lot of the time. Imagine cooking the turkey within an hour. So it's kind of quite something. So the other thing, the final thing I wanna show you is, so now that that goes like that, and I have one that I did earlier. Can you see it? Well, I'm gonna put it in the oven. I'm gonna remove, this is how it looks, the one that I did earlier, like that. So it's in a small pan. I'm gonna put this one right in the oven to start cooking. It's a 400 oven. It's kind of like warm, definitely. And then, yeah, you should then, so I forgot, sprinkle the juice of a lemon that I had, and you can put some cloves of garlic around it. That you can do too. Oh, and see, I forgot, add a little bit of vegetable or chicken stock around the pan. You could do that or not. It depends, but it just gives a little bit more flavor with the vegetables as they cook. Then you can press the vegetables and use a little extra stock if you have, or the juices for the gravy, which I'm going to show you quickly how to do a very simple gravy. So this is our chicken. I'm gonna move it over there. So I have some vegetable stock. It's hot, that's the key. And then I have some butter, and so I'm heating my pan. I'm gonna do two things here. I have some flour, in this case, yes. So you can do about 2 tablespoons of flour. Some people like, and if you have the time, you can do that. Actually go ahead and like toast it a little bit, the flour in it. I like it, it gets a little bit of color, but it's not, just for the sake of time, we'll save a little bit. But and then get some butter, about 2 tablespoons too. And you're just gonna put it in there. So this is what in a lot of in French cooking, it's called roux. You see it, then you're gonna season it with a little bit of pepper. Actually, I'm not putting salt because I'm gonna use a little bit of leftover herbs that I have that have salt in it. And the key thing is you're gonna melt the butter and it's gonna start sticking to the flour and you make this roux. So it's almost like a paste. If you can see it start thickening. This is when I'm saying the pan juices in the, from the chicken tray that you bake the chicken or the turkey. That's where you'll strain those and you'll add them here. But the key thing is that they have to be warm. So if you see, that's about it. It's getting, you can also wait a little bit and get a little bit of color, but careful not to burn it. And so then it's just gonna add, and it's really quick, you're gonna add the hot stock in it. As you add it, mix it. The key thing is making it hot so it doesn't get very, with a lot of like granulated. So see, that's already getting the gravy. So you're gonna let it cook briefly. You can still add little by little. I like adding it little by little. It'll keep on thickening. So do this almost as you're ready to have the bird. It's already cooked. You can't do this in advance because it'll continue clumping. So if you see this, it's pretty much easy gravy. You can put mushrooms in it. You can put shallots as you saute the mushrooms and shallots and then put the rest of the stuff. A little tomato paste if you want some little color. But see, that's how it is. Some people add a little bit of, I don't think it's needed, a little bit of cream because it already has butter in it. But see, and then you can do it just really low. And then this is going to be ready for you to try it. And it smells delicious.
You soak the Brussels sprouts to get rid of the bitterness. I just steamed my Brussels sprouts. That I steamed them, but when I put them in the oven, I tossed them in a little bit of honey with some fresh thyme, salt, pepper, and a spray of olive oil. That's it. And stuff them in the oven until they were golden brown, and they are not one bit bitter. If you are able to use cornstarch instead of flour for the roux.
So you can. Now the cornstarch is a little bit tricky. Definitely also it works the same way in terms of like adding hot stock, especially for cornstarch. If you add the stock or the juices that are cold, it'll clump, and there's no way you can unclump it. It'll make it really like pretty bad. So you can use cornstarch, but also make sure to add the stock warm. And also make sure to like bring it to a boil. And cornstarch especially, you need to bring it to a boil first before it starts thickening. It's not like flour is a little bit more forgiving. And either one is as fairly processed too. So I mean, I don't have I've done it with both. So yeah, try it. Just make sure for cornstarch to bring it to a boil, and also not to put definitely the hot stock to it.
Hot stock to the stuff in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a baking tray now and put it in the oven just to toast off. Okay, so this is actually done.
That looks good.
Right, so we're ready. So it's all ready to go. Wish you a great day. And
yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy, be safe in the holidays, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. We'll see you.